Welcome back to another market overview here at Risk on Trading. I was on vacation last weekend, so I didn't put out one of these videos to compare and see how we did last week like I usually do. But the levels I highlighted 2 weeks ago are still very much in play, especially the 401 and the 390 level. We had some beautiful action off that 390. I hope you guys capitalized. I hope you made some money off that one. I know I did. Woo! Now this week, baby, we got that CPI, the long anticipated. Everyone wants to see this one. Your friends, their moms, their grandmas, they're all looking for this number here. So all eyes are on CPI this week. This is the one that's expected to go down. Last CPI reading we got a very, very small decrease in the speed at which we were expanding the inflation. So from that, we had this rally that happened of people thinking that Powell was going to pivot and stop with the rate hikes, maybe slow down or pause. Well, Powell came out and said that was ridiculous. It's not happening. What he is saying out of his mouth is what's actually occurring. And then the market fell from there. But if the CPI data does come out light, this will be the first month-over-month decline since May 2020, and the biggest drop in CPI year over year in the last 24 months. That's a big deal, guys. Inflation has pretty much been running the market. Ever since inflation data kept coming in higher, these companies are having to spend more and more money, and their balance sheets are shrinking, making the entire market kind of fade down. So if we can flip the script on this and now CPI starts reducing, companies start making more and more money, this very well could be a bottom that holds. Now, if you've been around here more than once, you know that I'm a short-sided trader. I very much am on the short side most of the time, and I'm starting to get bullish. That's a good sign for you long position traders. Now, no matter what the reading is, if it comes in high, if it comes in low, it's for sure gonna bring the volatility with it. Now, for the negative, core CPI is expected to go up. In my mind, this is the only thing that could take the fuel out of the rally of a light CPI reading. So if we do get a light CPI reading, but then the core CPI is inflated, this could very much make people kind of think twice. Whoa. Do we just jump in here? What does this mean? Might have to, wait and see what occurs there. But if they all come in light, if they all come in good, this is huge. Not extremely likely, but it would be huge. And I would 100% be on the bullish side of the market from there. At least a 425, 430. At least. That's going to be where the 200-day moving average is and our last swing high. So I definitely feel we might get a huge move this week. Volatility is for sure going to come in. If you guys ever traded or watched CPI data hit the tape before, you know it's a big mover. We could really take out some range if the data comes in correct. Just keep in mind, we've got Powell next week to do another rate hike. Currently, the hike is expected to be a 0.75 increase, which is, not a small increase, but it is what's expected. So if it's in line, that might be okay. But if he decides to bump it to 1 point, that might cause a little shock. We haven't done a 1 point increase yet. And since he's kind of focused on this soft landing, he might not actually do that. So 0.75 is expected rate hike. That's going to come out next week. This week, we have CPI data, core CPI data. Those things are what everyone's watching. That's what all the things are going to be about. And that hits Tuesday. So be on guard. All right, now let's check out the levels. All right, so for levels going into this week, I've got these ones that are still running from the previous couple weeks here. There's 389 level, 390. This is a big one, guys. Watch this one. Obviously, we got reinforced by this trend line here, which made it real nice and strong. We still haven't had an extreme volume rip, but that'll most likely come on Tuesday, depending on the CPI data. Now, we do have a descending resistance trend line, which we just ran into. Now, if this looks a little familiar to you, markets are fractal, right? So they make the same shapes and patterns no matter the time frame. And on a much larger scale, that's what we did right here, right? We have our one swing high, our second swing high, which was also with these double tops. We connected those two and sent the line out. And this is exactly where the rally got killed. Boom, right there. Fell down, hit our trend line, coming back up. Our 401 was the fuel here. Once we ripped through that, it pushed hard. We got a couple of minor pivots here, which means that they're not very old. This one here is from August the 2nd. This one here is from August the 23rd. So these aren't even more than a month old. These are very weak levels, but they are levels. Let's go ahead and jump down on the 30-minute chart. So this here is kind of how I'm seeing it. We've got this swing high here from the last rally. We got another swing high, which we can connect to the top of this candle here. We came down, we kind of rounded out. We really smashed off this trend line. Clean, boom, double bottom, boom, through the resistance, bam, right into the 406. Now that 406 level happens to coincide with this descending trend line. And look how accurate this is, guys. Look how clean this tap is of the level. Mind you, I'm not connecting the line from over here to over here, right? I'm like, look at these dots. I'm connecting it from here and here and projecting the line forward. It just so happens that the price touched that to the penny and started to pull back. Now, we do have some congestion down here. This whole area is pretty much congestion. This is the previous day's VWAP. We've got the 20-day moving average. We've got the 5-minute 200, and then the 100-day moving average right into a pivot here at 401. So if we kind of just consolidate on Monday, and then we have a CPI reading kind of bam, snap down, which a lot of times we get a move in the opposite direction that it's going to go first, we do have a lot of levels here. We've got support here. Things we could hold, push through, snap this level and go. If the data comes in worse than expected, I would expect the price to kind of rip through those congestion levels, come down past this pivot, go right back into the pivot, and then we have a huge range. We could go all the way from here, right back down to here, and then most likely through the 389, 390 level. So just be aware, okay? We've got a lot of levels going in here, and I don't really see a clear path for the price to move until we get some kind of push in either direction, right? I wouldn't try to trade between the 20 and the 100 and the 5-minute 20 or 200. You know, we got this ascending trend line here, so we would have to snap that for sure. That's just the way I see the market. We would have to snap this dashed yellow. We would have to get through this. There's just a lot to get through. So I'm not really sure what Monday brings. I'm definitely going to be looking at individual stocks for trading on Monday, catalyst specific. But if we are going to fail, if we do fail and we come through here, the first major level we run into is going to be the 401.20. All right, so keep an eye on this level. And if we fail through that, now we're coming into this trend line that held previously, which is going to be here around the 393, 394 area. All right. And then if we break through that, we have a very, very minor gap here. Very minor. It's only like 1.5 points, but it is a little gap that hasn't been filled yet. And this 389, 390, which has held almost 4, maybe even 5. So that's a pretty strong level, man. If we break through this 390, we're going to pick up speed and go ahead and head down. And then we could just kind of crash through things if that's the case. I don't know what CPI is going to do. I got a feeling it might come in good, might come in light. The last thing I want to show you guys is going to be the TLT, the bonds. So let me go ahead and clear my levels here so we can kind of see clearly what's happening. I'm going to add a symbol and we're going to add the TLT. Now, I know this looks a little messy, but bear with me here. In this range, the last time that we kind of faded down and then rallied up, right? So this is the S&P here, and this is the TLT, which is the bonds. When we pushed up, okay, the market went with it. That's interesting to note. And then the next time we fell and it got caught and we had a rally, we also rallied in the bonds. The interesting thing that's happening here, which is making me kind of guess, like, what is this about? We had the pullback, right? We had the pullback, but the market for some reason is starting to go, and the bonds aren't catching a bid at all. They're actually breaking lows. Look, this was the low, right? We're breaking through those lows right now as the market held a higher low and starting to go. If the bonds jump up and start catching up with the market and getting back in sync, this is a good thing. I still hold bullish on that. If it doesn't, then I might be a little weary on the validity of the rally that's occurring. Doesn't mean I won't trade it. It just means I'm going to be a little weary about how heavy I go and for how long my trades are. Typically, I don't hold trades overnight, but if we're going to go on a nice run here, you know, there's really no reason to not capitalize on it. Just keep your risk tight and manage the trade accordingly. So I just wanted to highlight that. I hope you guys see like what I'm talking about. Just interesting. Thought I would note that. All right. Hope you guys have a great trading week. Be sure to check out the new videos coming out on the channel. I've got some stuff on position sizing. I got some stuff on psychology coming out. And then next week, we're getting into the really cool stuff. We're going to start getting into pivots, trend lines, macro, micro markets, all the cool technical analysis stuff I'm going to start hitting on. I hope you guys are excited for that. I love it. I'm excited to teach it. Subscribe, thumbs up. Let me know what's up. Stay disciplined. Peace.